Hi, it's Mrs. Grimaldi back with your last first chapter Friday for this school year. This week I am reading this book with this beautiful cover. It's called What I Carry by Jennifer Longo. I'm going to read it to you. It's about Muir, who is in foster care and is about to age out of foster care and doesn't really care about making relationships because she's been in foster care all of her life. But then she meets a couple people who makes her care at the end. So let me read you the first chapter. This is chapter 1. You will never, in all of your life, meet a person who packs a better suitcase than I do. And I'll tell you right now, the secret is not organization, it is simplification. Get rid of your crap. Do not own things in the first place. Surrender the weight of what you carry, and the wild, wide world is yours. Pack light. Which sounds easy. When in doubt, go without, and all that. But to achieve true freedom, you must be brutal as a consumer. Is dental floss on sale 2 for 1? Don't fall for it. One extra thing taking up room to pack and repack. And besides that, what if your teeth fall out before you ever need to use it? Now you're the dummy hauling around extra floss for no reason. Yes, floss, insignificant weight until you add it to that pen you bought, the t-shirt you had to have, the non-travel size thing of shampoo, until one day you wake up dragging the weight of the rolling suitcase taller and heavier than your own body, and you're exhausted trying to keep track of all these things you convinced yourself you need. Where did I leave that? Did someone take the other? Why can't I find my socks underneath all these stupid boxes of floss? Trapped. My packing credentials were passed to me from my namesake and honed since my birth, straight into foster care and never adopted. The longest I've lived in any house is 11 months, and now I'm 17 years old, so you do the math. At school, people sometimes ask me what it's like to live this way, which I suppose for kids who lost or were removed from a family they once lived with and maybe loved is a legit question. But for me, is like asking a person born blind what it's like to not see. It's not like anything. I've got no objective context because I was left newborn, nameless, cord still attached, and jonesing for meth at Joan Muir Medical Center in California. A fondling. When no one came to claim me, the NICU nurses named me for him. Child Protective Services let them put Muriel on my birth certificate, and I've grown into it. On my 18th birthday, my social worker, Jolene, picked me up. Or on my 8th birthday, my social worker, Jolene, picked me up, and we walked a wooded Seattle path along the shore of Salish Sea, and she told me how lucky I am to carry the honor of this name, Muir, a Scottish naturalist father of our national parks, a guy who slept outside nearly all of his life. We sat beside the water, and I unwrapped her gift to me, not a toy or the glitter hair barrettes I secretly hoped for, The Wilderness World of John Muir, a weighty hardback anthology of Muir's best writing about nature, curated by another naturalist, Edwin Way Teale, who arranged the essays in a way that makes them also a biography of Muir's life. I mean, birthday dream of 8-year-old girls everywhere. The transcendental nature and half the vocabulary of the book were beyond me, of course, because 3rd grade, but Jolene has all my life been more about what I need than what I think I want. I skipped rocks and she told me Muir's story like it was mine, his days, a timeline of my own. Muir's whole life was about protecting the natural world because nature is vulnerable. It can't defend itself against people. Any fool can destroy trees. They cannot run away. I nodded. She read a passage to me and marked it so I could find it again. Standing alone on the mountaintop, it is easy to realize that whatever special nest we make, leaves and moss like the marmots and birds, or tents, or piled stone, we all dwell in a house of one's own, the world with the firmament for its roof, and are sailing the celestial spaces without leaving any track. All living things, we are one family, she said, together in homes sleeping beneath the same stars. With my pinky finger, I petted the illustrated black bears hiding in the forest trees on the cover. I did not know then what first edition meant. Jolene put her hand on my head and made me look up at her. Muriel, do you understand? Not that day, but Jolene planted me the seed of Muir's wisdom that grew into the truth that comforts me now. He lived nearly all his life more at home outside than in, and I understand why. Every house I live in smells different. The rules and beds and people are never the same. But one walk outside and I am always home beneath the same sky. Alone is not lonely, nothing to miss, nothing and no one to wish for or search for. John Muir set me free. He walked thousands of miles over mountain ranges and forded rivers, slept in trees and deserts and forests, and carried with him only a washcloth, a bar of soap, a loaf of bread, a compass, and oddly, a stack of heavy books he felt were as vital as the bread, which I think is ridiculous. So I see his books and raise him one library card. But as Muir loved Thoreau, I love Muir. So every move to each new house, I pack the wilderness world in with the socks. Socks are important. Warm, dry feet are key to movement and therefore to freedom. Socks are packed, pressed flat together, and rolled tight like well-made sushi. 2 pairs of shoes, indoor and outdoor, 1 raincoat, 1 lightweight warm coat, 7 sausage-rolled shirts, 3 pairs of pants, 1 pair of shorts, 2 sets of pajamas, 3 bras, 7 rolled-up pairs of underwear. Basically, your suitcase should look like a grocery store deli platter of cotton pinwheel party sandwiches. Exactly a week's worth of outfits. Laundry on Sunday. No new item of clothing is allowed in unless an old one is removed. Anything reversible is twice as welcome in any well-packed suitcase. Seriously, I could give a TED talk on this shit. And oh, let's not forget the holy grail of packing, the toiletry kit. Flat water-resistant nylon and plastic, 4 refillable bottles for soap and shampoo, pocket for a nail clipper, razor, tampons, hair ties, toothbrush, toothpaste, and your 1 floss. I can pack and be out of any house in 4 minutes flat, except this day, 8 minutes, 23 seconds. Dying in the sweltering summer heat in a bedroom crammed with bunk beds the day after my 17th birthday, I kept Jolene waiting while I debated for the 100th and maybe last time the merits of abandoning a secret I carry that renders my John Muir packing TED Talk a bunch of hypocritical garbage. Hidden among the sushi socks and sausage shirts is a trash of compulsion and a blue and white striped pillowcase tied in a knot, a sieve of burden and humiliation that in each house catches new things I collect and carry with me year after year, and I don't know why. Muir would be so disappointed, or maybe he would understand. When we try to pick out anything by itself, we find it hitched to everything else in the universe. Little blackbird nest, Jolene said in one time she saw it, while helping me pack in 5th grade. I rushed to hide it. Not everything has to be useful or be loved, she said. In my experience, that's debatable. Besides, these things I carry are not loved. A ship does not love the barnacle clinging to its hull. Still, even on this August day, I could not bear to let them go. I held the bag of worthless loot and agonized until Zola, the small girl who slept in the bunk beneath mine for the last 3 months, came in. Here, she said, and put a small metal thing in my hand. An Allen wrench. In case you get lonely, she said. Okay? I nodded. How was swim class? I asked. You put your head under yet? Didn't go. Why not? She shrugged. Oh, Zola, I said on the bed, you have to remind her. This foster mom liked to think she was well-intended, a white lady who, instead of providing kindness and understanding, had a penchant for calling the police for minor offenses. And she was forgetful as hell, especially, it seemed, with Zola's very few activities. Will you come see me ever? She asked. Can I write you? I rolled the wrench around in my palm. Not sure writing is allowed, I lied. But you never know when you'll see someone again. Zola's face fell, and my eyes stung. I didn't want to keep Jolene waiting, and besides, if she had her way, this was maybe the last of the packing, unpacking, and packing and unpacking. So I dropped the Allen wrench into the pillowcase, removed one of the things, and slipped it into my pocket, retied the knot, and carried it all into my perfect suitcase to her waiting car, to one last foster house. You want to come out? Zola nodded and trudged beside me. Jolene was in her usual spot at the curb to give the foster mom time to say goodbye to me because she always thinks parents will miss me, which is not entirely true. It's just the older I get, the more help I am around the house, and that is what they will miss. I don't blame them. Most foster parents are overworked and exhausted, and I'm not only a burden but often useful. Sometimes I feel bad for leaving, like I am ditching a job knowing there is no new employee to take my duties. This foster mom hugged me, said she wished I didn't have to go. Maybe you'll be back, though, she snapped. A bad penny always turns up. I ran back into the house and fetched a water toilet paper from the bathroom because she was crying a little and the house tissue box was empty. On my way out, I added Kleenex to the magnetic shopping list on the fridge and Zola swim class 8 a.m. to every Tuesday square in August on the paper calendar tacked to the wall. Zola hugged me around the middle and I let her and felt my throat swelling tight, so I turned to the newest kid, a boy whose arrival this morning made my being here untenable. No more room in the inn. He's younger and needs it more. Our ages and genders can't share a bedroom. Who did not hug me because he is 10 years old and scared and also didn't know me, so I waved to him, alone on the porch swing. I let Zola squeeze me a few seconds more, I put my hand on her head for a moment, then took the porch steps 2 at a time. Jolene popped the hatch of her worn-out Subaru, the car I've ridden in since I was still in a 5-point car seat, and tossed in my suitcase, leaning across the passenger seat. She, small white lady, permed brown curls framing her round, middle-aged but unlined face, unlocked my door and smiled up at me. She's shorter than me, and I'm barely 5'5". She sits on a pillow to drive. Ready? She smiled again. What's a bad penny? I asked. Why would it always turn up? She took off her hand off the wheel. Who said that? No one, just wondering. Well, it's like bad decisions come back to haunt you, or a bad person keeps showing up where they're not wanted, like that. Why? I looked forward to the road, not back at the house, not at Zola, alone on the porch. She'll be okay. She'll be fine. She'll go home. One more year, starting today, all I have to do is stay unnoticed and unadopted until my 18th birthday, and I'm free. Let's go, I said, and buckle in.